Hello, welcome to my channel. In previous video, we talked about desktop input devices, and in this video, we are starting with our first desktop input device, that is keyboards. Now, keyboards are very common example of traditional input device. Now, the images which are shown in the presentation, the first one is keyboard, which you can easily identify. The other ones are called handheld keyboards. And I will come to this point that why these are important when we talk about the 3D user interface. The keyboard, as we discussed, it's a classic example of an input device, and it contains number of discrete components. Those are basically buttons which are used to operate various 3D applications for specifically 3D UIs, it is modeling and gamings, right? The arrow keys which you use are a travel technique. When you are using a game, you are using arrows to change the direction. When you are using a modeling software, you are using arrow keys to change the views. Okay, but this doesn't clearly work as same into 3D immersive environments, because when user is wearing the head mounted displays or it is surrounded by the screens, which is basically a 3D environment, it is very difficult to keep a track of buttons with a hand. But for a semi-immersive or the less immersive workbenches or a hemispherical displays, still a traditional keyboard can be a good input device for a 3D user interface. Now, when we talk about 3D immersive environments or HMDs, head-mounted displays, still the clicking of keys or a specific key buttons will again play a very important role. So if it is less, if it is the number is less, the key number is less compared to the keyboard, it is definitely useful in such environments. To do that, the simple example is a chord keyboard, which is the third image in the presentation. That is a keyboard which is held by a hand and which is having a specific combinations by which you can control a specific operation in your environment. Certainly, there are limitations in giving the combination because the limited number of buttons, but still these are quite helpful in handling 3D environments as a keyboard. The second type of devices are 2D mouse or the trackballs. So these are the general images of 2D mouse, different orientations which are available nowadays, which are ergonomically useful. Now again, 2D mouse is very classic desktop input application which will be having multiple buttons, and these are used to handle windows, icon, menus and pointers. Okay, it is most widely used device in a traditional 2D input task and comes with different varieties. Okay, a trackball is basically an upside down mouse where a ball, you will move ball with your fingers and that will handle a cursor, so you don't have to physically move mouse from one place to other place. Now the mouse and a trackball, these devices have two essential components. The one is the manually continuous 2D locator for positioning a cursor and generating a coordinate for a 2D coordinate for a pixel, and second one which will basically generate a discrete component, maybe the buttons or one of the three buttons which is available. Now the major advantage of a trackball is that it does not need any flat 2D surface to operate. So that basically gives user a preference to use or held that mouse in a hand, and still it can operate correctly for a user interface. Another advantage or another property or characteristics of these 2D mouse or trackballs is these are relative. So when I talk about relative, so I have one cursor which is showing in the left hand corner, bottom corner, and when I move mouse or a trackball, it is relative to the previous position and it is further moving with the next location. So the movement is relative, that helps a lot to track a specific location. Now these mouse or the trackballs are often combined with the keyboards in a computer game or a modeling software to enable more complex commands or techniques which you can implement. Now again, these mouse and trackball will have a same problem as keyboard, that they are not designed to be brought directly into the 3D environments. Specifically for mouse, it is need to be kept on a 2D surface to function properly. A trackball still can be held in one hand and manipulated with the other. It is used in the most of the immersive environments, and it has also been successfully incorporated in the 3D interfaces using the workbench display. 3D mices nowadays are used because of their additional degrees of freedom which are available to handle the interface. So this is about two types of desktop input devices, that is keyboards and 2D mices. In coming videos, we will be talking about pen-based tablets, joysticks, and the 6 degrees of freedom devices. If you like this content, do subscribe my channel and keep following for more videos. Thank you for joining.